If you're looking for step-by-step directions on how to list your first ornament using print on demand in your Etsy shop, then you are sitting in the right video because that's what we're going over today. This video is the second video in a three-part series. In this video here, I went over 13 highly searched ornament niches, but they are niches that don't have as much Etsy competition. That means as many Etsy sellers selling in those spaces or in those niches. So if you're still looking for your ornament niches to explore, you might want to check that video out next. In today's video, I'll show you exactly what the process looks like of getting your ornament listed. And in the third video of this series, I will show you how to do all the market research so that you can make sure that your ornaments sell. We're jumping on to Printify here, and as you can see, there are a lot of options. You've got tons and tons of options. Some of them are shaped, stars, hearts, gingerbreads. A lot of the best sellers on Etsy are circular ones here. I'm looking at the ceramic ornament here. It happens to be the cheapest one. We see it's $4.44 with Printify Premium. It'd be $6.03 if you don't have Premium. And then your shipping is $5.69. An additional item is only 69 cents. When we go into start designing, you'll see this kind of layout that they're showing us for the circular design. And if I go over here to see details, I can see that we actually have access to a circle, a heart, a star, and a snowflake. A snowflake happens to be one of the ornament phrases or keywords that I share in that first video of ornaments. Because snowflake is highly searched, but not as much competition. So I can actually flip through here and show you what these different shapes look like. But again, the circle one is the one that's selling the most, so we'll stick with that for now. We can see here the print area size is 1043 by 996 pixels. I'll show you how we use that information in just a minute. And we can download the design template here, which we are going to need to do. When I click on that, I get my download here, and then I can drop it right over in my project in Kittl. So I'm opening my project in Kittl now. You have all these presets that you could choose from. I'm going to go to the print on demand tab. There is no ornament preset. Maybe they'll update that for us soon, but it's not there right now. So we'll go ahead and make our own custom one. So we'll head over here and we're going to go back and use those numbers that we had, 1043 by 996. That's what I'm going to put in for my custom setting. So let's put 1043. Oops, I already forgot the other number. 996. We'll get 996 in there, and we really want this resolution to be 300. So I'm just going to come over here and pop the number 300 in. Pixels, we're good to go there, and create. Now I've got my artboard, and I'm ready to start designing my first ornament. Here we've got our templates, and I'm going to drag the circular one over to our Kittl artboard, and then I'm just going to resize it so that I can get it to take up pretty much the entire space. I'm going to probably kind of resize my, yeah, there we go. I've got it resized to take up the whole space. And I just use my two fingers to kind of pinch in the whole artboard to kind of make it a bit smaller there so I could work with it a little bit easier. I'm not concerned with anything other than that green line. That's really what I want to make sure for the design that I'm creating. I really want to make sure it fills in that green line. Now you do want to make sure that the entire thing, if you've got like a color that you're going to have as your background, you're going to want it to fill the entire gray area too. For this particular design we're going to put together, I won't need to be worried about that, but just something to consider that you want the entire gray area filled in with any other color than white. I do want to get rid of this instructional box here. I don't want it in my way, so I'm going to go ahead and put this black box over it, and then I'm just going to color this black box white. And this way I can start setting up my design, and I'll be able to make sure that I keep it inside those green lines, and I'll have an idea of where that little circle is. So I'm going to be using one of these fonts. This is a new little shop that I opened. It's got fonts in there that I saw were trending, but we didn't yet have a Christmas version of them. I'll pop a video in the corner here and down in the description below if you want to know more about why I created these fonts. I will leave a coupon code down for you down below too if you want to head over to that shop. I'm going to use this circular pattern here. And in the next ornament video, I'll also share with you why I created this. This design is based on market research. So I will go through that market research with you. It's the most powerful thing you can learn is the market research behind designs. That is the most powerful skill you can learn. And then secondly, to start implementing that in your design process. So I'm going to kind of fill this in here. Anything beyond the dotted line could be not chopped off. So we don't want anything important beyond that dotted line. So I'm keeping that in mind. I'm going to be putting a letter in here. I'm going to grab a T for Tucker. And I'm just going to drag and drop it on top of my Kittl artboard here. And now I'm going to resize it. It always drops in so tiny. So I have an idea of where that that circle would be. That's the cutout where the ribbon's going to go. And it's kind of under the top of the pink area there where we see the green dotted line kind of dip in on top there. So I just want to make sure I'm not putting anything important from my design right on top of that hole. And now I'm going to add some text so I can personalize this ornament with a name. These sell very well on Etsy. I'll go into more of that in the next ornament video. They're personalized, they have a letter on them, but all of them look kind of the same, the ones that are currently on Etsy. They all kind of look the same. So if you can use market research decisions and make a new design, you'll have a chance of standing out from the market. All right, I've written the word Tucker here. I've used the adventurer cursive here. And I think I want to go with the green. Let's play around with colors. Let's try this kind of pink color. I think that might get kind of lost. Let's go back to the green, I think. And one of the great things about Kittl is that the text features here, I could put a border around the whole thing. So I'm going to press that little plus sign. I'm going to play with the border weight and make it much thicker. And so now I have a nice border around the word Tucker to help it not get so lost there with that Dalmatian background. That's what they call that trend, Dalmatian letters or Dalmatian background that we have going on there. All right, so I'm thinking that looks pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and download this. Well, actually, before we do that, let's go into our layers. We need to get rid of our template. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to get rid of the background. I can see it's transparent. Everything's transparent. And now I'm going to get rid of this template. And as soon as I grab that layer, I'll be able to delete it. And don't forget to also delete that box, that square that we placed on top of the text. I don't need, I wouldn't even notice it because mine is a solid white background with the Dalmatian dots, but you might need to remember to do that on your design. So we want to make sure that we have a transparent background when we download this. Now we're ready to head back over to Printify and we'll just drag and drop it right on top of our ornament. So now we can resize it just a bit. I want to make sure nothing too important is being chopped off. I'm going to have it so that part of that top colorful ring has that hole punched into it, but I think that looks just fine. And after you get it the way you want it, of course, this is going to be a personalized ornament, so we're not going to skew it up and have it, and you would need to make a different design for the star or the snowflake. So we're just going to stick with making this available in a circular pattern. And then when a customer orders this, we'll have to put it through as a personalized item since they're going to want their own letter and their own name. And there's actually a lot of ways we could personalize this further or niche it down. We could add little elements of like ballet shoes if we were trying to reach a dancer, or any niche. You could niche this down to any niche. You'd want to stick with like a female niche though, because this Dalmatian look goes more with more females. Not a lot of guys are going to want an ornament with this look to it. All right, so once we have what we want, we can actually go in and we can actually choose different colors if we wanted to. I'm going to leave mine as white. I want it to match the background of the Dalmatian area there. But you can see there that you could choose different things, or you could just use the color that you have already in the background of your design. You could use that also and spread it, making sure that it just goes through those gray areas that I mentioned earlier. Here they're giving us all of the mock-ups that Printify is putting together. Now, I would put this on another mock-up, a really beautiful mock-up, a best-selling type of mock-up, but I would use these three also as support mock-ups. So now I've published this over in my Etsy shop. The real reason I published this, even though it is going to be a personalized item, and I actually want to go now and take the SKU out so that everyone doesn't get a tee with a tucker underneath, because that is what would happen right now if I didn't go and remove the SKU from my Etsy listing. So we're going to go over into Etsy, and I'm going to show you how I would finish this up over there. Over in Etsy, I have my mock-ups here. I would want to add additional mock-ups. I also would want to put a title up there above the mock-ups. I'm going to want to complete my description. Now I'm going to want to make sure I add personalization, especially for this particular ornament, since this one does have personalization available. You wouldn't want to forget to do that. You'd want to make sure you explain to them to tell you what letter and to tell you what name. You want to make sure you get your price in there. I usually put quantity to $9.99, and we're going to want to remove this SKU. Again, we don't want everyone getting a tee with a tucker on it as their ornament. Now, if this was not a personalized ornament, you would leave the SKU there and it would be ready to sell. But personalized things do much better. Here's where we're going to put our tags. And if you look at ornaments, most of the best sellers are personalized. And you can finish up with your other settings here, and then you'll want to publish changes, and then you will have it set as a live listing in your Etsy shop. We're going to pop back over to Printify, and I'm going to show you how to make a template, an ornament template. So there's specific things now that you won't have to finish up over on the Etsy side. You're still going to have to finish your SEO up and some little pieces, but your price and some other settings, your description will already be there, and those pieces will all go over with your design. Now I'm putting the design through first so I get those 3 additional mock-ups, and I want to see what my design looks like on the ornament, so I make sure that it all looks good and that any additional mock-ups that I'm using that I've purchased on Etsy. And the way that I like to do those is I go through and I look at best-selling ornaments. I look at the types of mock-ups that these designs are on, and I try to purchase maybe the same mock-up that I'm seeing bestsellers on, or one that's got a very similar vibe. Now, when I'm pushing these designs over, these ornament designs over from Printify, if I make one that does not have personalization, I will leave the SKU and I will just add what I need to add. But if I am making one that is personalized, I'll take out the SKU. But either way, I can create a template for myself so that part of the process is at least automated. As I scale and list ornaments consistently in my shop for a period of time, because that is going to give me a much better chance of actually making some nice sales with ornaments. So here we are back in Printify, and I'm just going to duplicate my ornament here, and then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to take out the design that I have here. Now would be the time for me to decide how I'm going to do this. Is it just going to be circles? Is it going to be white? Am I going to do different designs for each shape? I think I'm probably going to just stick with circles, but that you want to make those decisions now for your template. And I'm just going to write my template here so it's easy for me to find. I'll name it this as well. And that way I know that when I open this, this is what I'm working with. I'm not changing something that I shouldn't be changing. I'm duplicating from the right thing with the right settings. Now would be the time for me to go ahead and I'm actually just going to write template ornament here, or ornament template. And now would be the time for me to put the description in that I want to see for all my listings. Now at the very top of my description, I will fill it out with something specific to the listing so that I can use a little bit of SEO. The very first line or two of your description also hold some weight with your SEO, but the rest of the description can remain the same for all of them. Here's our tags. Here's our personalization. And so these are just, I'm probably going to have a lot of personalization, so I would probably just put personalization on this. You could choose your shipping profile. We've got preferences here with free shipping if you're offering free shipping in your Etsy shop. But this other spot here is where you'll save a little time later, because here's where we can put our price. So if I click one size and then I click edit price, I can give it the price I want it. So here we go. And then that way I don't have to change the price every time. I'm going to put only show in stock variants, and I'm going to put hide in my store so it comes in as a draft rather than directly into my live listings, because I'm going to need to finish it up, right? So I'm still going to need to finish my SEO up. I want to click mockups because I want the mockups that it's generating. I'm not going to use those as my very first mockups, or my first thumbnail for Etsy, but I will use them as support. And then I'm going to save it as a draft. So now I can come in here anytime, and I have some things preset in here, and I will just duplicate from this one and create my ornament. So I'll leave the ornament template alone. I'll duplicate from it so I can create new ones. Something to note here is that when you get an order that does not have a SKU attached to it through that listing, like the one we just set up and we erased the SKU, then that order in Printify is going to go into your other orders tab. Now, before you'll be able to fulfill that order, you'll have to go to your catalog, then click on ornaments and create the ornament. You can also just go to the template that we created, duplicate it, and create the ornament. So perhaps someone orders an ornament, they want the letter A and the name Aubrey. You would go in, create that ornament, and have it now in your products. Then you would go into your other orders tab, click on the order, and you would be able to attach that new product that you just created. You'd be able to add it to your order. Other way you could think about fulfilling from a listing like this is to use something like Hello Custom, which will help you actually automate the process of that name. The way that I see you being able to use that with an ornament like this, I would put 26 options in one of my drop-down menus, A through Z. So they'd have to choose which letter they want. I would then skew all those ornaments with that letter, right? So if they chose the A, they have the circle with the A, the background with the A. If they chose the B, it's the background with the B. Then I would go into Hello Custom with my 26 templates, one for each letter, and input them into Hello Custom. And I would choose one of their fonts instead of the one I chose today, the cursive underneath, because it's doubtful that Hello Custom has that Dalmatian letter font. So that's not going to be something that you're probably, I haven't checked, but I doubt that that's going to be a font that's available in their software. But if you finish up the design process in their software and use one of their fonts for the name, then that part can become automated. So I personally do not have a lot of experience selling ornaments in my own shop. I only this week, in preparation for this video, put out my first couple, and they are getting visits, and they don't have personalization, the ones that I've put out so far. But I know that if I want to really get in there for ornaments, I'm going to have to offer that personalization. And I do plan on getting around a 50 to 100 out before Black Friday to give it a stab this year. If you want to learn more about ornaments, Christina from See You Online, I just watched a great video from her. She had experience with ornaments last year, and she felt that the ceramic ornament printed blurry and she got bad reviews. I'll leave her video linked down below if you'd like to give it a look over. What is interesting is, well, the ceramic ornament is the cheapest, and it was the one I was working with today. But when I checked eRank, acrylic ornament came out to be the most searched as compared to the ceramic ornament, glass ornament, or metal ornament. So acrylic ornament might be one we want to dabble with this Christmas season. If you did find value from this video, I do hope you'll go down and boop the like button. And if you don't want to miss that next ornament video where I show you how I add value to the market with my ornaments, with my ornament designs, then be sure to give the subscribe button a little hug. Another video I think you might be really interested in, and I'm working on it now, is a video that shows you my results from last year as I moved through October and into November, because the difference in sales from October to November is big. And I will also show you what my listing was like at that time. And I'll show you what's happening in my shop this year so far. And then at the end of November, I'll do a follow-up video to let you know how November turned out. And I'll also let you know what my listing momentum has been like this year. So if you don't want to miss those, be sure to hug that subscribe button and then go watch this video next, but not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.